Week 14 just wrapped up and I went an okay 8-5 on my predictions, so hopefully I can do a little better this week. Let's just get on to my picks for Week 15. There are no teams on a bye week and we'll be starting off with the Rams at the 49ers on Thursday Night Football. The Rams are coming off of a win over Buffalo, but I'm not buying into it very much. Bad teams beat good teams all the time, that's why they say any given Sunday. And I still think the Rams are mediocre at best. The 49ers seem to return to form against Chicago, and while I still don't think they're very good either, I think they want some revenge for the game they threw away against the Rams earlier in the year. I'm gonna pick San Francisco to win this one at home, 30-27. And now for the Commanders at the Saints. I don't want to waste much time on this game. The Saints don't look good, and the Commanders are a playoff contender. I think Washington takes care of business and wins this one 24-17. Now for the Chiefs at the Browns, and the Chiefs continue to look as unimpressive as possible in all of their wins. However, with the Browns coming back down to reality, I think this should be a pretty easy Chiefs win. I'm going to take Kansas City in this one 24-13. Now for the Bengals at the Titans, and this is kind of the same story as the Bengals-Cowboys game from last week. These are both bad teams, but one of them is a bad team with an MVP caliber quarterback, and the other isn't. I'm going to take Cincinnati in this one 24-20. Next up we have the Dolphins at the Texans. These are two kind of weird teams. They both seem to be underachieving, and while in the Dolphins' case some of that can be blamed on Tua getting hurt, even with Tua they don't seem as good as they should be. If you had asked me 1 or 2 or even 3 weeks ago who I thought would win this game, I probably would have said the Dolphins. But honestly, I'm leaning more towards Houston now. I'm going to take the Texans to squeak this one out 23-20. Now for the Ravens at the Giants, and there's not a lot to say here. I think the Giants are the worst team in the league, and the Ravens are one of the better teams in the league, and they're coming off their bye week on top of that. I'm taking Baltimore in this one 30-14. Now we have the Jets at the Jaguars, and this is another game I really don't want to talk about. The Jets are slightly less shitty than the Jaguars, so I'm going to give the edge to New York here. I'll take the Jets to win this one 20-17. Now for the Cowboys at the Panthers. And the Panthers continue to look like they're headed in the right direction, keeping it close against Philadelphia last week. The Panthers have looked good for a few weeks now, and I think they finally translate that into a win this week. I think the Panthers beat the Cowboys at home 26-21. Now we have the Buccaneers at the Chargers. The Buccaneers are the clear-cut best team in the NFC South right now, although that's not really saying much. And overall, I just think the Chargers are a much more well-rounded team. I'm going to take the Chargers in this one 24-21. Now for the Colts at the Broncos, and this is a potentially huge game for the AFC playoff picture. The Colts are still fighting for a playoff spot, while the Broncos are in the driver's seat for a playoff spot of their own. Dropping this game could potentially be very costly for the Broncos, but I think they take care of business and win this one at home 27-20. Now for the Patriots at the Cardinals, and this is a perfect bounce back game for the Cardinals, although it may be too little too late for them. Even with a very easy schedule ahead of them, I don't see any way the Cardinals make the playoffs at this point. Still, I'm taking Arizona to win this one 24-20. Now for the Bills at the Lions, and this would have been a much tougher pick if the Bills hadn't completely shit their pants last week. The Rams are not that good, so that loss says a lot more about Buffalo. I think the Lions should take this one at home 33-30. And now we have the Steelers at the Eagles. The Steelers are a very good team, but even though they have a similar record to the Eagles, I think the Eagles are a much better team. This is a pretty easy choice for me, especially since it's played in Philadelphia. I'm going to take the Eagles in this one 27-24. And on Sunday night we have the Packers at the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are the best team in the NFC West, but it'll be hard for them to make the playoffs because they have a brutal schedule ahead, and this is where it starts. The Packers are one of the best teams in the NFC, so even though this game is played in Seattle, a lot would have to go right for the Seahawks to win this one. Maybe we'll get to see the bad side of Jordan Love and he'll throw a few costly picks, but I have my doubts that that'll happen. I think the Packers are going to win this one 24-17. And to start a Monday night doubleheader, we have the Bears at the Vikings. The Bears looked absolutely lifeless against the 49ers, but if a mediocre team like the Rams can beat the Bills, the Bears could certainly upset the Vikings. But I don't see that happening. I'll take Minnesota to win this one 27-17. And finally, we have the Falcons at the Raiders. The Falcons have looked absolutely pathetic as of late, but the Raiders are the Raiders, so yeah. With how bad the Falcons have been, I actually wouldn't be that surprised if the Raiders get the upset here. But I'm still going to go with Atlanta to win this one 23-17. There's all my picks. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe.